All right, Xfinity car, Indianapolis. So here are my settings. I was trying the 50s and the brake bias, and it was just a. I've gone back and forth on it. You know what? We'll try 57 here, but anywhere in that 60-ish range, I think is going to be serviceable for you. And again, the steering doesn't matter. The steering settings don't matter. So we're going to try for first and second lap, hot lap. If you do a good turn 4 on lap 1, you'll have a run up for lap 2, so you might as well just try both laps. But you can't overheat your tires on the first lap. So you might see me kind of bail the first lap if I do a slide, try to get my tire temperature back in check by not overdriving the next couple corners. But it might just be enough to screw you if you do one slide between the 2 laps. I'm probably going to go into focus mode because it's very hard for me to talk and drive Indy. It's probably one of the hardest tracks because it's the timing. There's just no flow to it. There is between turn 3 and 4, but not between turn 4 and turn 1. So I'm just gonna try to make sure I get right on that white line, a little bit below it, use that trail brake, and here we go. Little cold tires on turn 1, a little bit more difficult to make the grip. I am slightly babying it through that turn 2 just because the tires aren't quite up to temp yet. Try not to overdo it. That feels a lot more up to temp. All right, decent lap. We can bank that if we need to, but we're gonna also try a second lap here. See if the tire doesn't wear off too quickly. Can be a little bit more brave on that lap 2 tire. Nice. So far, so good. Hopefully the tires hold on for 3 and 4. Slight miss there, but it didn't cost us too much. Did feel a little bit of a tire getting away from me in turn 4 there. Maybe that was due to the slight miss in turn 3, but regardless, pretty equal between lap 1 and lap 2. I wish that you could take that lap with the 3 and 4 of one corner and 1 and 2 of the next. If you really wanted to do that, you would crawl lap 1 and not even try, but I'd rather have 2 tries at it. So let's just look at lap 2 here. So very important is you want before this light here, and I know I never really give points, but because Indy has such a long straightaway, I go by points. This is probably the one oval where I give myself markers. So before the light here, I need to get my wheel turned and transition smoothly off the throttle onto the trail brake. Now the Xfinity car is great because it actually likes to turn. It gets a little bit loose even sometimes, so you're gonna not have to force the car to work too hard to get down here, but you want to aim left front tire right on the white line, maybe a tiny bit below it. Let's see how good we did on the left front. So yeah, right a little bit below it. The curb doesn't kill you, but you're never gonna go faster by touching it. So you want to kind of get as close to that without going over it. So once we do that, the brake, once we kind of get to our line, we transition to that throttle and just let it slide us back up the track, because since this is a 90-degree turn, I'm not really worried about keeping the car down low for too long. If it's like, if you just straight bounce off the line, then you're probably going to hit the wall. But as long as I'm down there for like even a split second, Like, you see how I get here and I stay there for just the littlest bit? Then I know it's time to get on the throttle and let the car come off the corner. And again, we start at the partial throttle, and then once we're able to unload our steering wheel and exit, that's when we go full throttle. And we kind of make it just like an extended straight line. You see how loose it gets even though my wheel is almost straight? That's just how loose the Xfinity car is. So you got to be ready to wrangle with that. Turn 2, very interesting. Very deceptive corner because they don't have the curb here. So you got to just take the curb out of your mind. We're aiming at this white line right here. So right as I get up to the wall, I'm already thinking about the next corner. And I don't really have a marker for turn 2 because that's more of a flow. But you want to have your car once again already pre-turned before the banking starts. So smooth off throttle and then tiny brake tap. I don't think that brake tap is necessary, but I like it because it helps me set my car right where I want it, which again, left front tire, right on the line, and then we can throttle up off the corner. And again, we want to get as much momentum on these long straights as possible. So I am under driving a little bit on entry so that I can get back to at least the partial throttle as early as possible with the goal of getting max throttle as early as possible. Let's look at that one more time. So easy off throttle, brake tap to set the car, half throttle, hold it until we can unload the wheel, and then full throttle up to the wall. Great. Turn 3, same idea as turn 1. It's hard to explain, to be honest with you. I don't go at the one, I go a little bit past the one. And then we go. Again, a slight miss. I think I said before, yeah. I really want this tire down here. So that probably heated up my tires a little bit, but I probably didn't have the grip that I was expecting from like the turn 1 either, because the tires are starting to get a tiny bit hot here. But same fundamentals. Get the nose pointed. You know, my nose wasn't quite pointed early enough, so maybe that was just all on me there. Get the nose pointed to where you want to go, aka the white line. Drag the brake until we stick the car where we want to be. Then throttle the car half to start out with to maintain momentum. Then unlock the wheel and go straight and go full throttle. And then again, turn 4 will feel a lot like turn 2. I really want my tire to be on the white line by the time this curb starts, and I want to be back on the gas. So my goal is to be lifting or raising my throttle by the time I get to the curb. A lot of people will approach these corners before the long straights just like any normal 90-degree turn, but these are the ones where we just have to prioritize exit speed. So slight underdrive on entry, and I want to be raising my throttle through the entire curb section here. Now notice that I can't go full until very late because there's still a lot of turn involved. But the earlier that we can get back on that aggressive throttle, the more speed we're going to carry onto the long straight. Honestly, in terms of long run, it's single groove. Like, the goals that I'm giving you here are the same goals that you want to run throughout the long run. If you have to back up your corner to make those bottoms and have them stick, you're gonna have to do that, and then you're gonna have to prioritize that corner exit speed on turn 2 and 4 by doing whatever you need to do, whether it be brake earlier, brake longer. Never really have to brake more. I don't think you're ever going to be using more than 15-20% brake here. So maybe you're just going to have to lift earlier with the goal of still picking up that throttle as early as possible. But yeah, anyways, thank you all for watching. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you all on the track.